Okay, the brain is wired to think and then feel and then act. So before we can do anything, we have to think about it first. If we don't think about something, then we don't feel and we don't behave. So we think, we feel, and we act. And that's how the human brain is wired. And that also gives us room to explain fight or flight responses, those quick evolutionary responses when we're in danger or experiencing impulsive emotion, a lot of emotion at once. We'll talk about that later on when we address emotional intelligence and social intelligence. But right now, we're going to talk about our cognitive behavioral methods as part of our ICBT system. So we think, we feel, and we act. Remember that. That's a very important point. Right, and as I said in our last little clip, the more we experience things, the quicker our thinking gets. Remember I told you about the clutch in the car. All right. So we're going to talk about irrational thoughts. Irrational thoughts work very similar to all the other thoughts we have in life. Okay? They work very similar to that because, of course, an irrational thought comes first. And irrational thoughts are learned very well through experience. The more we experience things, for example, if somebody was to harass me and kept calling me a loser, you're a loser and you're incompetent, you're not good at what you do. If somebody was to say that to me, right, I get very good at thinking about that. So when I am challenged or something happens in my life, I will resort to that thought. I will draw off that thought and think, geez, this is really challenging. I'm going to fail at this. I'm such a loser. Because I've experienced those situations so many times, it becomes well ingrained in my psyche, and I go right back to that thought when I'm prompted or reminded. So it's important to understand that irrational thoughts work against us. Unlike regular thoughts, we talked about the regular thoughts that are designed to protect us, to help us enjoy life, and so on, like the clutch ordeal, or learning to walk or ride a bike. All those things we learn from experience as well, but our irrational thoughts we learn from our negative experiences throughout life. So how do we determine an irrational thought? How do we know? Well, back in 1986, a guy named Dr. Max Maltzby, incredible psychiatrist, came up with 5 ways to challenge an irrational thought. He called it the 5 rational questions. Later on, in 2006, a guy named Dr. Aldo Pucci, he broke it down to 3 rational questions. Well, I took those 3 and I put them in a little different order, and I came up with an acronym called FFG principle. It's called FFG. And the FFG is designed to train our brains in order to challenge irrational thoughts quicker, faster. Instead of going through all of the phrases, we just say FFG, and then eventually we drop the FFG and our new thought becomes very quick, very automatic. So what is FFG? Stay tuned and I'll show you in the next clip.